This is effectively my risk-free loot run. There's two ways I go about this. When I have some money in the bank, you are able to purchase a loadout like this for around 150,000. This is around 60,000. You can get this for 30,000. That's another 30,000. So you've already got like 120k in there, and then you can spend roughly 30,000 getting this ump. And the whole point of this is to run to whatever location that you're comfortable with exploring with. For example, I like going to Lighthouse, and I also enjoy Shoreline because there's two specific areas with a high probability of spawn that's going to give me great areas of loot. Maybe I should just put this on the screen and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. For example, these are all the spawn points on Shoreline. Somewhere I like to go personally is going to the pier because there's like a safe, two safes, there's two computer boxes as well. So if I spawn in any of these, well, this and this location, that's usually what I will target. Alternatively, I'll also go to this little area with the tower because there's a filing cabinet in there. There's also usually a dog bag in there, and there's also a safe, some really good stuff over there. If I spawn anywhere on this side of the map, I usually go into these chalets. There's a lot of good stuff in there. The only time when it's a bit unfortunate is if you spawn over here on these areas, because then you will have to go into the resort or whatever you call that place to get the good stuff to make the run with it. Now that's just on Shoreline. So this is Lighthouse, and the ideal scenario, this is really the money maker if you're going to follow this strategy, because if you spawn over here, well, in any of these areas over here really, but prefer, well, that's a tricky one, because if you spawn here and here, you should try and make it to this area as quickly as you can without any NPCs, and obviously you're going to have to be able to defend yourself, but we'll get to that later. If you spawn in any of these four locations, you want to target these two areas. There's some really high good loot spawns in there, which makes it very good to get in and out. Same with this location. This location is debatable, but the vast probability of spawning on this map, you can get to a high loot or relatively high density loot location. If you spawn on these sides, that's obviously a bit tricky. You have to deal with these guys. If you're able to make it past them and past all of the mines, etc., you can get into the warehouse. There's some really good stuff in there. Hopefully someone's already killed the raiders and you can do it, or you can get a sniper and try and kill them yourself. Get in, get out. If you spawn on this side of the, like over here around, even if you spawn over there or on this location, there's a lot of good stuff in this area as well. So why did I show you these maps? The whole point of this is mathematical. If you're paying 150,000 for a loot run or a loadout, effectively, you want to make sure that when you get good loot of high value, that you can stack this up in here so that it is either the same value or lower than or higher than what you've paid for your loadout, right? So ultimately, in the end, you want to get to those locations first, get a great spawn, know your route to your location on the map of your choice, run in, get high loot, and as soon as you've got your high loot and it's stacked in here, and okay, I'm good, then there's no more gear fear, there's no more worried about someone, going to kill you or whatever. Then you can actually play the game without fear, which is the whole point of this, because it's very painful to run through this game and constantly being worried that you're not going to get your gear back, or someone's going to take your stuff, or you don't want to take any chances because you've paid a lot for it, etc. The other alternative is what I'm going to now. This is a risk-free, in quote unquote, because ultimately you can still lose the gear that you've actually paid for. You can still lose the 150k. But if you go and you start and you follow the same premise, but you use the scav run gear to do it, it is effectively risk-free. And of course, it's not going to help if you go to Lighthouse with a shotgun and you've got a bad spawn. Then you're going to be in trouble, but you've got nothing to lose. For example, this is close quarter combat. If I can go to chalets on Lighthouse, which we'll probably do after this, that is the case. You've got a gun, you've got a decent mag, you could possibly buy a bigger mag for it, load it up with ammo, check what you've got in your gear, and you'll be good to go. depending on, you would know before a scav raid if this is going to be loot that you can use to go in, get that high value loot at no cost to a kit, and actually get out, or just, you know, go haywire, see if you can kill some PMCs, have a bit of fun, do some tasks or whatever you need to do without the risk of actually losing money. But at the same premise of already stacking your pouch full of valuables, so that regardless if you go in or out with the gear that you bought or your scav gear, you effectively come out net positive. That's how you gradually, slowly start to build this up. If you're not a phenomenal mechanical player, I am not, hence the reason why I'm making this video, so that you guys can, you know, try it out for yourself. And I'm going to illustrate it now so that you guys can see. Now, this, of course, is the risk-free method, and this is the real risk-free method. And that's why I've saved this scav run, because he's got a decent gun. We'll be able to do some leg meta if I need to, but we're just going to run reserve quickly, see if we can get some loot. But the whole point is to not get loot, but to actually get out quickly. You've got some money that you can then use to buy a magazine for this if you want to, and then go into it, get out, use that to do a money run. Let's see what that looks like. And that is your loot. You've got all of this stuff you got for free. The backpack technically isn't, but you had one anyway. If you had a good one, you can use that. You've got a free helmet. You've got all of this stuff. Now we're going to go into Lighthouse, into a raid, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing to get to where I need to go to justify being able to be aggressive and play without fear. Alrighty, let's hope for a good spawn, see what happens. It's fairly early, might still be dark on this. I'm not sure where I spawned. I spawned at the bottom here. Ship it. Oh yes, wait. We're on the opposite side of this road, aren't we? We can still make it. No, we can't. Yes, we can. So now you just W key. There's the smoke of the plane. You know you're going in the right direction. Step one, go in here. I think I might have the names wrong, but boom. In here. Got some euros, some rubles. Don't care too much about that, but there's your GP coin and your S diary. So you already got decent money, relatively free of charge. Might need that later. Need tools for crafting, and we're good. This is where we want it. Nothing, usually there spawns a lot of good stuff in here. There's nothing there, so now we're gonna have to make do with something else. This location is also rich with boxes. And we've got a gun. It's good and well. As soon as your bag's full, don't be greedy, just get out. That's what works for me, but then again, you need to play it for what you want to do, you know, what works for you. Those are usually the only things I hit when I'm full, but given that I'm not at the moment, I'm going to go in here. But we've got a player, which is perfect. So we've got our good stuff in there. All fine. Find out where he is. He's probably in a worse position than I am. Let's have a look. There he is. Just for the sake of this, I'm going to put that in there. He obviously came for a loot run. Now, you can be as greedy as you want to be. What I would do is I would get out, get myself heals, and move on. This medical, it's a lot of splits. And you're out. Survived, and that was 11 minutes. Killed USAC, which is nice. We were able to fight the guy because we didn't have any fear of losing gear. We've already made money. So you're more confident in your fights. And now we're going to see how much we have made. And we don't even have to sell anything, of course. In terms of monetary value, I'm just going to sell the stuff that I need for now. But if you sell more of it, it's obviously going to be more than that. So in total, you have made 400,000 in a 11-minute PMC risk-free run, plus a 5-minute scav run with gear that you got for free, and your net positive, what is that? 400,000. And you didn't even sell everything. That is the whole point of the real risk-free runs, in my opinion. So I hope you guys find it helpful. If you did, drop a like. If you enjoy the content, of course, I stream a lot live. I don't make a lot of guides and things, but when it's necessary, I will. So drop a like, subscribe if you're new. And as always, I appreciate your support. Cheers.